Boop, 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 boop. Switch out my SD cards. Switching now. Switching now. Alright. Pull up some other files. Ooh. I don't know why it does this. I always get like my clips and then like a web link, Microsoft Edge. What does it say? A document for some of my footage, which I hate. Oh. Goodness gracious. Heather's downstairs making some soup. Chicken and dumpling soup right now. I'm excited to eat some of that. That's gonna taste delicious. Delicious. Oh. Get this. Heather's obviously back from Cabo. She had a great time. Uh. 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 Mm. She misses Cabo already. She already wants to go back. How is this media lost? It should be right here. It's right here. I know the okay. So this is what we'll do. Get rid of all this. I could probably just boink. And then we are going to import some more media. We're going to go over to here. This is our GoPro media footage. And bada boom, bada bing. Pretty much we went out and we did like just a cute little date night video. Heather's been gone. Heather's been gone for a while. Like I said, in Cabo. So I've been making a lot of footage, doing a lot of fishing and stuff, and uploading to the YouTube quite a bit. Sorry, I'm tired. I worked a lot of overtime this morning. So, thanks, bro. But yeah. And overall, it's a really good weekend. I'm gonna go in for some overtime Monday too. Tomorrow, probably 2 a.m. is what it's looking like, unless the boss calls and changes his mind. Watch some editing happen. It was Heather's first time with the camera, so.
Hey guys,
thanks, man.
Heather and Colton
You're a woman.
Unexpected Adventure,
Man.
and I have some little cards here that I bought my lover for Christmas. What are they, Colton?
They're adventure scratch off. So the unexpected adventure is going to do some love adventure.
What's going on, Jason?
We are being cheap, so we picked out all the free ones.
We were. I will say this. we were cheap about it, and you could tell because the date night idea was like shadow. I don't even know what you call it. It was like mimicking shadows, pretty much. So the other person would make a shadow, and then you would mimic it, and I don't know. So we were very confused by it. So we ended up looking up some shit. We found shadow tag. What was another game we played? It was something like off Mario Party. Shadow ban. No, not Shadow Ban. It was called the Shadow Game, is what the card called it. We looked it up by that, and we couldn't find nothing. There was some game that they played in like fitness class, um, in school, and and then there was Shadow Tag, and then there was one that was kind of from like Mario Party, where, if you remember one of the mini games, the ghost he looks left, right, or up, and then you have to go opposite of that, and then that's how you get a point. So we did that. We did the Shadow Tag. We just had fun together. Like I said, it was nice. It was nice to get her back into town. She had a great vacation. She's super tan. And I really wish I was in Cabo with her, but I had to work. So someone's got to make some money. She spent a lot, she said. She said Cabo is really expensive. I wanted to have her come on and talk about her Cabo vacation because we do vacation a lot. We travel a lot. Um, I'm more into national parks and stuff. She's more into beaches and drinking Mai Tais. I'm sober, so I don't really drink. So who do you watch with those binoculars? I don't watch. Oh, I watched some elk last time I watched somebody. I watch Heather from a distance sometimes because she could be mean. You gotta keep her far away. Yeah, you can't get too close to a to a woman in heat. Sometimes you gotta watch them from afar. She'll attack. Oh, but this was her idea. She wanted to do a cute video, and like I said,
I have some little cards.
we had a lot of fun doing it. I'm excited for soup. I think after this, I'm gonna get off. I'm gonna probably play some Fallout, hang out for the night before I go to bed. But the shorts have been blowing up. Everybody's been enjoying my shorts, and then I wanted to start doing these live streams, especially like when I hike or do my solo camping and stuff like that. Especially our area, like when you're hiking the Dunes National Park, you pretty much have full coverage. It's not like we live in an area. It's not like well, I'd say the Rockies, but when we were out at the Rockies last year hiking, when we got up to the top of Twin Peaks, the summit that we went up, by the time we got up there, I mean, Heather was able to FaceTime her grandma on the top of the summit, show her the summit plaque and everything. It was super cool. It was very unique. And I honestly thought we were gonna have no signal when we were out there. And we have T-Mobile. It's not like we have like a top of the line phone provider. I mean, I love T-Mobile. They've been great for us everywhere we went. We've been to Japan, Tennessee, Kentucky, Colorado, Michigan, Illinois. Oh man, and I haven't had any issues with it. But we're going to Washington, Mount Rainier, coming up in August. After my fishing trip, I'm going down with the boys to Kentucky Lake. We're gonna go fishing for probably crappie because we're gonna be trying to eat a lot of them. But I want them to catch some of their PBs as well. Japan was next level. It was fucking super lit. I'll tell you about it. But I want everyone to catch their PBs and flathead catfish. Mine is 48 pounds. That was off the Duck River in Tennessee, technically. The Duck River comes off Kentucky Lake. Where we're going to be at, we're staying at the Kentucky Dam Resort. So we should be able to catch some decent flatheads right there by the dam. And Japan was lit. It was my first time out of the country. Heather is way more of a world traveler than I am by far. I didn't grow up taking vacations because my family couldn't afford it a lot. But as soon as I got sober and I started like being able to maintain myself again, we bought tickets to Japan. We went with her sister. We went out to Osaka. We went to Tokyo. We went to Nara and saw these really cool deer. Um, that you could like literally walk up to and pet. If you look them up online, the Nara deer, you'll see it. They like walk across. It's like ducks here in America. There's traffic stopping for these deer. They got these little cute little horns, and we did a bunch of like temple walks. Seen a lot of historical buildings. Tokyo was sick. Shibuya Crossing, obviously from Tokyo Drift. That was sick. Getting to stand there and see all the people. Like it literally fills up so quick. How many people? Um, cross that intersection at once. And then while we were there, we did see all the cherry blossoms. So it was just like the perfect time. I mean, cherry blossoms were lining the streets. It was gorgeous. It was phenomenal. I think I got some memorabilia sitting around here. This is a little teacup I got from Japan right there. And then on that shelf, that's pretty much it. But I got a bunch of cool shit. I got a bunch of cool anime stuff. So I'm really into like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto. So I got a bunch of cool like figures and then trading cards, Dragon Ball Z trading cards. Man, I mean it was definitely a culture shock going to Japan. Cherry blossoms are beautiful, and sobriety is beautiful. I'll tell you what. A lot of drunk people in Japan. I don't think Japanese people know the word sober. I mean, you literally see drunk guys pass on the subway stairs in Japan because a lot of the subways shut down early, and I guess it's really disrespectful to show up late to your spouses. So you'll see a lot of people pass out on benches and shit. And there was this one guy we walked by laying in the middle of the stairs going down into one of the subways in Osaka, which is like the party city of Japan. I guess you'd call it like the Las Vegas, but they don't really allow gambling. Gambling's a little different there. But we walked down. He's covered in vomit. I mean, he's got name brand jewelry on. He's got all fucking like nice suit on, covered in vomit. Obviously, had a big late night drinking, and just because I don't like Japanese culture, he just didn't go home till the next day. I didn't understand it. But there was these little izakayas. I think that's the name. I could be getting that wrong. They're these little like 5 stool bars. I ended up sitting in one with Heather, her sister, and the 2 other people we went with because everyone else drank. And I got to talk with the bartender while she served all them like these special Japanese style drinks. And she got to tell me a little bit about Japan. She let me put like Mac Miller on the TV. And she was all about Mac Miller, which was super cool. And oh, it was a all around beautiful experience. It's one hell of a culture shock, especially coming from someone like me. I'm like, in my opinion, I'm some like I'm just like some hick from Kentucky who lives in Indiana, and I like cool shit, but I'm like not the smartest. So like going to Japan, I don't know. It was crazy. It was a lot of historical stuff, a lot of shit I got to learn. I got to see a lot of cool palaces. Um, I got to do some fishing when I was there. I didn't catch nothing, I don't think, which that's whatever. Their fishing was a little different. I didn't have like a normal fishing rod and reel. I ended up just having like a stick with a string on it, kind of like you'd fish at a fair here in the States. The cars were sick. I don't know if you're into cars at all, but Japan, that's like the thing. What number? I'm over 3 years sober. 3 years and like a couple months. I don't really go by the months anymore too much, just because uh, my goal is the next year. Um, I did count months all the way up till my 3 years though. Uh, but my sobriety date's in February, and yeah, just over 3 years. It's awesome. Feels great. I'm glad you're sober too. That sounds sick. If you could tell somebody one thing that helped you throughout your sobriety, what would it be? Mine was learning to open up and talk more, and not to like hold everything in. When I was an addict, I was a big ball of secrets pretty much. I always thought I knew all the answers. Now I know that I don't. And because of that, I was able to go to, like I said, places like Japan. I've been able to summit mountains. I've been able to hike national parks that I've always dreamt of going. And like I said, we're even going to another one this year. So, I mean, if anybody's ever feeling like they're having an issue in life, I mean, best thing you can do is open up, talk to somebody. You know, once you tell yourself something and you tell other people, you know, it's kind of, for me, it was, I was able to hold myself accountable for my actions a lot more because I was admitting to myself that I loved cocaine way too much and drinking was not a fix. So, you know, yeah. No, that's a great answer. No one wants to hear it because I mean, like, I feel like deep down inside, everybody kind of believes a little bit in like some sort of higher power, whether it's God from the Bible or like, you know, whatever religion. You know, at the end of the day, religion, it's pretty much like core values on how to keep you sane, keep you a good person, a humble person, someone to, you know, be kind to your neighbor. You know, like, it's definitely the way to go. And personally, I wasn't a believer in God before my sobriety. Now that's not saying I didn't believe in God, or I did. I was kind of like in the middle, you know. Like, I feel like something's there. I always felt like something was there, but it's like, what is it? Is it exactly word for word what they put in the Bible? I don't know, because I also love aliens. So like, you know, like, oh man, I could go on about aliens and Egypt and all this crazy shit, but you know, the Bible says there's not aliens. So I don't know. I don't know. I know now, you know, especially with the passing of my father, you know, having a higher power, having somebody to help talk to when you're alone, I think is super great. And I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with going to a church if that's the kind of person you are. You know, like, I think that there's people out there that like to hear, oh, you say God helped you. Well, oh, there's no religion. I think those people are just kind of sad a little bit and lost. You know, because if you don't believe in it, what's wrong with someone else believing in it? You know, everything's a debate now. You know, you go on everyone listens to podcasts and the news is so cruel all the time. Oh, it's just fucking terrible. It's terrible. I got my dad's Bible when he passed. They gave me one at the funeral home. I've been thinking about reading it. I haven't looked into the Bible since I was a kid. I went to a Baptist school, Hobart Baptist. And I was raised Baptist, I guess you would say. You know, I'd say a big part of my childhood was watching Ancient Aliens and wondered who built the pyramids. So, I think some of the stories in the Bible are wrote about aliens. Who knows? Technically, if God's not from here, he's an alien. I don't know. I know that having a higher power is great, and whether you believe it or not, there's nothing wrong with it. And I think it's healthy to not feel so alone in life. No, I'm sorry to hear that. Mine passed 3 years ago, right at the beginning of my sobriety. Um, April 9th, the day of Easter. We were doing some woodworking and it kind of just went wrong. The thing called a Liptenberg machine. And pretty much what it does is you get the wood wet and it sends electricity through the wood and it makes these cool patterns. Well, pretty much the two nodes caught his fingers and sent a charge through him and you know, just stopped his heart. It was worst day of my life. Still is. So, you know, I get you. I feel you, man. That's why a lot of my times you talk about higher power when you talk about. Nah, thank you, man. Sorry to hear about your dad as well. But you talk about higher power. That's kind of how I found mine because I use my dad a lot as my higher power. My dad, right at the end of his life, my dad went from being like an ancient aliens guy to like being like a super Trumper, like QAnon guy, to then he became like super religious at the end. Towards his life, he lived alone in Kentucky a lot, so you know he was always on YouTube looking into like weird conspiracies and all this weird stuff, and you know, damn, I don't even know where I was going, just rambling about my dad. I don't know. He's the one that got me into all that stuff. And then he passed, and then I was in AA, and I was, you know, in meetings and stuff, and everyone's talking about this higher power, and I'm like, damn, you know, like it was pretty hard for me to like believe in God in that moment, like super heavy, and like really just like dive into that because like, you know, I just watched my dad pass away, so for me to be like, hey God, you know, I love you, you know, it's almost like, hey God, you know, why'd you do that to me, you know, just lost everything I owned, and then you kill my dad, you know. That's almost how it felt right at the beginning. Now with a lot of time and stuff, I realize, you know, in my dad's mind, he's probably up there right now with God. He also thought the earth was flat, so I'm hoping when he got up there, he looked down and was like, God damn, it's a circle. So, but, but yeah, you know, there's definitely, yeah, there's a lot of things that come with that. A lot of thoughts, a lot of late nights, you know. It was, David, I don't know how old you are or anything. I don't know how many, like, losses you've had in your life, but it was my first, like that was bam, holy shit, you know. And then you know, then they're just gone, you know. And here lately, I've been like looking through his Facebooks and stuff. And it really sucks because I don't have social media or anything. Yeah. Yep. Time works the best. That's what I've been doing. I couldn't agree more with that, man. Yeah, there's like things that hit me still. You know, like every now and then I'll be like, I don't know, I'll see something. You know, it's not like it was at the beginning, but like I'll be watching a movie or like The Big Lebowski or something that reminds me of them, and it's like, bam, you know. And then you like, I don't know about you, man. It's been even longer for you, but like the trying to remember his voice was like on my mind for a while. You know, and my dad wasn't one of those guys that like used social media much. If he did, it was like one of those photos where he's like good. You know, this is my dad in a photo. Oh. So and, you know, all my photos are old. You know, like the only framed photo I have of me and him is from when I graduated high school, from a long time ago. So, you know, uh, yeah. I don't know. Time, you know, I feel like it's one of those things that will never go away. The only thing that helps with it is, like you said, time. It just gets easier with time, you know. It gets easier with time. You just don't think about it as much. And like I said, it's almost like you forget stuff. You know, like I forgot his voice is almost gone. I can still, when I think about it, I still know it's deep. I still know it's there, and I still know he's talking in fucking like a smart ass fucking tone. You know, I'd ask him where he's going. He'd say, "I'm going B. Why, you want to hold it?" Yeah. Or he'd fucking tell me to shut up. You get 2 ears, one mouth. Learn to use them. You know, like stupid stuff like that. You know. And then, like I said, the shit that reminds me of him, it just hits every now and then. But David, it sounds like dinner's ready. I can hear it beeping downstairs. So thanks for joining me. I'm gonna start doing these little live streams more often. I have a super awesome community. Yeah. Sometimes when I get to talking about my dad, I have to stop myself because I'm like, damn, I'm talking too much about him. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But everyone I'm talking to still has their dad, so I feel like they don't get it. So actually on my fishing trip when we go to Kentucky Lake, I'm hopefully gonna be stopping by the old property that I ended up selling after he passed away. It's some family property, and you know, a lot of his parents passed away in Hopsis there, and he passed away there, so I'm gonna get to cruise by, see the property one last time. But David, I got a killer community, and I'm glad you're a part of it now, dude. I hope to see you around. Every morning I'm chugging water before work. I'm always doing some sort of fishing and hiking video, and we're gonna be doing a little bit of live streams. Me and Heather just, me especially, I just like living life. I like making people smile. And yeah, man, I'll see you later. Have a good one. That's what my mama said.